Hello Southies, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, my name is Cece and today you're watching a speed build, and this speed build is set in Sulani, and I haven't actually done a speed build in Sulani, mostly because I'm really intimidated by the types of builds that you see in this world or that people create in this world. And so it just kind of took me a long time to come up with an idea. I will throw up a photo that I found on Pinterest that kind of gave me the idea for what I wanted to build. And this house is actually a build that I made for a particular sim. Now on Twitter, I am a part of a really cool competition called the Miss Sim 4 World, or Sim 4 Miss World, I believe is what it is called. And it's a really cool competition that mostly focuses on editing really cool photos using the Sims that you've created. And my Sim, Hannah Payway, is Miss New Zealand, and she is her background is she's Maori and she's from the North Island in New Zealand, and she's a conservationist, and she is someone who is really connected with her culture, the Maori culture, which is a Polynesian people group. And she's really, like I said, she's a conservationist, so she really believes in being environmentally sound, and she's very connected with her family. She has a huge family, her parents and then 4 sisters, and actually her mom's pregnant with another daughter, so she's the oldest. And so I kind of created this whole little world for Hannah to exist in, and they live in Sulani in game. I imagine that this is actually, I believe it's Wakatan, New Zealand. Kind of looking at photos, Sulani kind of reminds me of that area of New Zealand. And so this is where she lives. This house, now I would suspect that, being someone who is traditional, her family is kind of traditional, that she probably would not be living by herself. But I also think that she's kind of a modern girl, and while she loves her family, she kind of wants her own space, and probably convinced her dad to say, hey, I want to live on my own and be on my own, and I'll visit every day. And so this house, I imagine, was probably the house that her parents first lived in when they were starting out their family. And they kept it when they moved because it is only a 3-bedroom home and they have 4 daughters. And so they probably kept it. And then when Hannah, convinced her family, her dad, that, hey, I just want to move out on my own, I want to experience life living on my own, they let her live in this house. And Hannah does have a boyfriend, Mateo, who I think will propose to her, and so this will probably also be their house that they'll live in together. But yeah, so this house, it came together pretty quickly. I say that I think it took me 2 tries to come up with a good floor plan, because I really wanted it to be a 3-bedroom house. I think this lot in Sulani, it's near the bar. I want to say it's a 20 by 15. And so it is small. It might be a little bit bigger than that. I'll make sure to put in the description the semantics for it. But I wanted it to be a 3-bedroom house, which means I was going to give up a lot of outdoor space, but there's a lot of outdoor area around it. And even though you can't actually put things on that outside space, I figured that you can still interact with it. Plus there's like a beach up the road, so there's a lot of outdoor stuff to do. And so now I'm working on the interior, and I'll throw up a picture of the inspiration for the interior. This checkered floor just kind of made it everything for me. Like, when I saw this photo, I literally went on Pinterest and I think I just searched tropical living room vibe, something like that, and this photo came up and I was like, yes, this is what I want this house to look like. I love it, and I'm like, I want my floors to look like this in my house. But yeah, I'm working on the kitchen. I tend to start with the kitchen in every build because the kitchen is probably the most important thing. I used mostly island living stuff, but as per usual, I did not limit myself in packs. I loved to be able to use this particular counter. It's one of those counters that who would ever buy counters like this in real life? Like, what house would actually have this? But when I was putting this house together, it just fit so well, especially using those base game tiles in the kitchen. I'm like, of course, this is the counter that I need to use. This is the living room that I'm working on next, and I love this space. I wanted it to feel very open, but kind of separate from the kitchen, so I did the archway. I'm putting up these hanging wall plants from Jungle Adventure because I just thought it would be really pretty that maybe that's actually in a pot, like a hanging pot, but over time it's just kind of grown over the couch. I will say that anyone that sits in that corner, their face is just covered by the plants, which is kind of funny. And again, I think that this house is just gonna be plant crazy because I feel like Hannah is really connected with the island, and she just wants to bring as much of the outdoors indoors, and I wanted to feel like it just flows through, like you don't even notice there are walls because there's so much of the outdoors inside. I think I'll start decorating the kitchen now. You'll see me kind of do a trick that I've done numerous times. Sometimes I feel like the counters are too big and too bulky and just take up too much space, so I like the idea of just putting the little console table in the middle of sort of the kitchen space to be sort of a pseudo island. Your Sims, if you put bar stools, your Sims will sit there and eat their food. Obviously they won't actually put their food on the console like they would the counter, but they'll sit and kind of hold their plates and eat at the little console table. So that's why I love doing that trick. I used this setup from Tiny Living, the TV radio setup. I love that combination of colors. It fits so well into this build. And here I go adding some more of those hanging plants to bring that indoor space, or that outdoors indoor. And kind of just sort of talking a little bit more about Hannah. If you go on my Tumblr, you can follow her story. That's pretty much exclusively where I am putting up her story, is on there, just sharing screenshots of my gameplay with her. Obviously you can follow me on Twitter to see the pictures that I do for the competition, and it's been fun. It's been challenging. I think probably the most challenging thing is just the editing process. I have sat hours and hours trying to come up with really good photos and really good edits, and I've been so grateful to the Miss World Twitter page for kind of helping me learn how to do my software. I don't use Photoshop. I don't want to buy it. So I use an editing software called Paint.net, which is somewhat comparable to Photoshop. It's pretty user friendly, and I say that because I am horrible with that kind of software. Like, I tried GIMP, and GIMP is so confusing to me. I have no idea, and I've watched tutorial after tutorial and cannot figure it out. And so when I discovered Paint.net and realized how much easier it is to use, I was like, oh, thank goodness. And so I've really been working hard on my thumbnails. Like, I kind of want to go through my older videos and redo them, because I've gotten so much better at thumbnails. Obviously I'm not amazing, but I can tell that I'm much better. And okay, so as you saw, I just got done with the bathroom, and I'm kind of did the same sort of method that I've been doing in a lot of my bathrooms lately of splitting up the bathtub and toilet from the sink. I think I also fit in a laundry setup in the bathroom as well. No, not in this house. Actually, in this house, she washes all of her clothes by hand, and she hangs them on a clothing line. I figured that would be more conservationist friendly. I have no idea. I guess you could say they could use super efficient, eco-friendly washer and dryers, but she's a conservationist, so I thought she would probably use like gray water setup in order to wash her clothes and to water her plants and to just recycle the water, which so that was the vibe there. Here I'm working on Hannah's bedroom. This is, like I said, this is a 3-bedroom home, but it only has 1 bathroom. You could probably sacrifice a little bit of the patio or the porch space in order to fit in like a tiny ensuite bathroom. But I don't know, I just didn't want to do that. And this is the biggest bedroom in the house. So, and it has a walk-in closet. I put it at the front of the house because, I don't know, I just thought it would look best here. I think usually in houses, or at least in America, the big master bedrooms are generally towards the back of the house. At least how they've been sort of building houses in the last 20 odd years. They're at the back of the house, but I don't know, this is Sims and I can do whatever I want. But yeah, kind of keeping in with the theme of lots of plants. I wanted to feel light and airy in here. I imagine Hannah is a very chill type of chick. She is quintessential, how's it going, how you going type of girl, and nothing really phases her, and she doesn't really get too upset about anything. Like, probably the one thing that will get her mad is someone littering or doing something that is not environmentally safe. Now, as you saw, one of the bedrooms, or one of the rooms that can be a bedroom, I put a bubble blower in there, just because I feel she's young, and she's like, oh, we just get high doing the bubbles. This is our Saturday night. This is what we do. I'm working on the outside landscaping. It's kind of sparse. There's not a whole lot. And obviously there's a ton of plants and things from Island Living that you can add, but because I didn't really have the room to go crazy like I normally would with landscaping, I had to keep it kind of minimal. I love these shrubs that come with Island Living. They're so pretty and beautiful. You can also go into the debug menu and find a bunch of extra trees and things that you can put up, which I did. I tried to make this house really look like it just sinks into the background of the world, and that's another reason why I like the idea of it being kind of this dark, I think it's like a black or blue. In my head it looks blue, like from my perspective it looks blue, and so it just sort of blends and fades into the background. It doesn't distract from the world around it, and that's kind of the vibe that I wanted for this house to have. And so just trying to find trees and things that sort of did that but didn't completely block the house for screenshot purposes. Like, I think I moved that big green tree over off to the side, just because I wanted to take some good screenshots. I'll probably, in my personal gameplay, move it back to where it was because I thought that was really cute where it was. I think I am coming up on the end of the build. I think the last thing that I put together in this build is the other back bedroom, which I started to do like a space where she does yoga and meditates. I ended up putting her yoga mat on the back porch, and then also a chess table on the front porch, and then this little area here where she can sit in the mornings and, I don't know, drink her coffee or just sort of hang out and read a book on a cool day. And then I put those little shutters above the windows. It just looks really pretty. But yeah, in that back bedroom, which I think I'll start furnishing here in just a moment, I just made it just like a guest bedroom with a double bed. Pretty simple. She has 4 sisters, so imagine that when they kind of want to break from mom and dad, they come to Hannah's house and they just kind of sleep there. Of course, in the future, when Hannah and Mateo get married, that'll probably end up being one of the kids' rooms. Mateo wants a big family, so they'll probably end up having 3 kids. So there will at least be, one of these rooms will at least be for 1 kid and the other room will be for 2. But we are definitely coming up on the end of the build. If you enjoyed it, please let me know by way of pressing the like button. Comment down below. What do you think of the house? Please go follow my Tumblr, follow Hannah's story, Miss New Zealand, follow me on Twitter to look at the competition edits, follow all the other people that are in the competition too, because everyone is doing, I'm so jealous of some of these guys' editing skills. They're so good, and it's definitely challenging me to do better and better and better with each challenge. But anyway, if you did also enjoy this video and you want to see more content from me, please subscribe. I do speed builds and let's plays and all sorts of fun stuff, and I'd love to have you be a part of the Southie family. And as always, my name is Cece, and I promise never to break your game. Bye.